Hello. There we are right here. Boom, boom. Have the comment pin. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is your host with the most, Chad the Maverick, here today to break down the upcoming astrology of the week and pretty much give you the insights about what's going on as far as the transits are concerned, as far as everything else is concerned. So we want to give it a couple minutes to let some people flood in. Hello, welcome for y'all who haven't seen me before. I come on every week live at the same exact time to break down the astrology of the upcoming week and all the energies that are coming through, right? Also, if you don't know, I run classes every Monday as well through House of Intuition on their website. So if you go to view classes every single Monday in that time slot for any astrology course, it's going to be me. And I'm going to be making a whole entire lecture down on whatever astrology topic at hand for a whole entire hour Zoom session. I really do break down the very core levels and core elements of everything, so feel free to check those out as well. I'll be breaking that down more as people start to flood in more. But hello, welcome everyone, welcome in, welcome in. So, before we get started, I do want to point out a couple of things, right? So, right now, this week, the way that it's set up, we're now shifting into the second half of the zodiac, right? So beforehand, all throughout since this spring, the Zoom sessions are $10, by the way. But as far as this whole thing is concerned, right? From Aries season, which is the start of spring, up until Virgo season, which is ending this week, is basically the first half of the zodiac, right? Things in the first half of the zodiac are very more personal. They're more tapping into who we are as people, figuring out the in-betweens and the details within ourselves. And then the second half of the zodiac, starting from Libra season on, is us really embracing our higher natures. There's a lot more energy that starts to get exerted from people. It's almost like the first 6 months is like building yourself up, and then the next 6 months afterwards is you showing up as that self that you built up. And I want to be breaking that down deeper into detail as I explain the shifts. Just waiting a couple minutes just to have people flood in. But yeah. And if you don't know, my name is Chad the Maverick. I'm an astrologer here. ChadTheMaverick.com is my website. Chad the Maverick is my Instagram as well. I post astrology content there, and I also run readings and services myself, so feel free to check those out on my website at ChadTheMaverick.com. Now, without further ado, let's start to break down what's actually happening this week. So, let's start off with, if you've been to any of my lives before, if you've been to my lives within the last 3 weeks for this Virgo season, you will know every single week I have been so adamant about telling people to write down their affirmations, right? What Virgo season is all about is the reshifting and restructuring of your personal reality, right? So, with this restructuring of your personal reality, whatever you were writing down, whatever you were affirming, is now going to be coming into this upcoming season, this upcoming second half of the zodiac. That's why I was so adamant about it beforehand, right? Now, mind you, if this is your first time seeing me, you can spend the next few days literally writing out what it is you want to bring into your reality. It's not too late. We still have a little bit of Virgo energy left. We got 3-4 more days of Virgo season. And setting those intentions, right, just like she said, setting those intentions, setting down the things that you want to see in your life, setting down the things that you want to bring in are going to be amplified, right? And going into this next season, we're going to be shifting into the communication. Now, why is this so potent right now? Why is it so important for you to write the affirmations? We just left the new moon phase the other day, right? And for y'all who knew the new moon, I hope y'all came through the new moon class. I gave y'all how to manifest best through the new moon, where it's landing at in your birth chart, as well as how you can activate it with your Mercury sign. So for y'all who went to the class, thank you so much for attending, and I hope that you ended up using that advice to push forward the manifestations in your life, right? So the whole idea behind this new moon, though, right, is that it was a crystallization of the things that we want to bring into our sphere, the things that we wanted to bring into our reality, honestly. So the whole idea behind this, right, is that you still have, like I said, a few more days to tap into the energy of affirmation. What do you want to bring in? What do you want to manifest? Now, you can manifest at any time, do not get me wrong, but the reason why I'm saying it during Virgo season is because it's going to be more potent. If you write it down, pen to paper, write it down. It's going to change everything. Pencil, whatever. As long as it's not in your notes, don't type it in your notes. Write it down on something paper. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a notebook. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything else. You can write it on a napkin if you want to. Like, it doesn't matter. But as long as you have it written down, that's you consciously putting that down onto something physical, hence bringing that mind into the physical world. Boom. I have a class on manifestation through your chart at a certain point, but feel free to stay tuned as far as those are concerned. Now, what's going on this week? We're shifting over into Libra season, the season of charm and balance. So what is Libra? Let's talk about Libra a little bit, right? Virgo, your season is ending. Hate to break it to you, it was a great season at hand though, but now we're going into Libra season. So what is Libra? Libra is representative of cardinal air, right? What a cardinal sign is about showing up as your identity, right? It's about initiating new things. Cardinal signs are the signs that start off new seasons, right? And what season are we entering into come Libra season? In the fall equinox, we're going into fall, autumn, right? So if you're out in the West Coast, not much of a change, it gets a little more brisk. If you're on the East Coast, the leaves start to change, things start to get a little bit different. So the whole idea behind this, right, is that now that we're entering fall, the energies are going to shift, obviously. But as the energies shift, we're going into a cardinal air space, right? And what's air element in astrology? The air element in astrology represents communication. It represents speaking. It represents showing up through your mind by communicating, right? Another thing too, we have Mercury also in Libra as this Libra season is starting off. So if you haven't noticed, within the last week and a half, I believe, with Mercury and Libra that just started, you've been now communicating and finding people that end up relating to you and the things that you're into, right? So where beforehand you might have been like, hey, you know, some people there, some people here, where it's like, oh, they like the things that I like, right? Now it's like, oh, shoot, this person actually, I resonate with this person. Oh, this person's actually like someone who's cool to talk to. This person is actually understanding where I'm coming from. I don't have to explain it. I don't have to get into anything weird. They really understand where I'm coming from with this, right? So the whole idea behind that is with this going into Libra season, that first inklings of that is now kind of starting to solidify. So now it's going to be like, hey, these are the people that I'm communicating with. These are the partnerships that I'm working on. These are the relationships that I'm bringing in, whether that be friendships, whether that be platonic, whether that be romantic. These are the type of things that are going to be coming into you. So not just relationships with people. One thing about Libra that gets overlooked a lot is that Libra also represents business relationships, business partnerships as well. So this is a good time. If you haven't, like, you know, get yourself together, throwing some resumes, throwing some like things along the lines of that, because it's about communicating where you're at and where you can meet halfway. Libra season is about balance. One thing about Libra and balance, though, is that in order for Libra to find balance, or Libra placements to find balance, you have to kind of go to one end of it and then the other end of it. And then you end up finding the in-between. Once you get into that middle ground center, you find the balance. That's how that goes. And once you find the balance, what else do you find? You find peace. You know what I mean? So this Libra season is about finding personal peace, tapping into personal peace, and relating to others that resonate with your personal peace. So that's what we're shifting into. Leaving this Virgo season at I believe it's Tuesday, right? Is when we end up leaving this season and going into the next one, right? So what I'm about to do right now, right, as I do on all my live streams, is that I go through the astrology of the week day by day, starting today into next Saturday, And the next Saturday, I come live, same time, break down the next week. And that's pretty much the way that that's going to go. But before I break down the astrology, once more, I'm going to go through how you can find me, how you can reach me, right? So my name is Chad the Maverick, right? ChadTheMaverick.com is my website. I host readings and services there. Chad the Maverick is also going to be my Instagram, Twitter, anything that you want to find is going to be Chad the Maverick across the board. So that's basically how you reach me, how you find me. And now we're going to be getting into the astrology of the week itself, right? So first off, we're going to start off. Today we have the moon in Libra. And the moon in Libra is going to be shifting into the moon in Scorpio, right? So the moon in Libra, what is this about? So this is kind of like the first inklings of the vibe of the Libra season that's coming in, right? We're going to be talking about more communications. You might have even been thinking to yourself, how can I amplify my personal beauty? How can I amplify how I show up into the world? These are the type of things that are going to be like on the minds of people as this is happening, right? What you're also going to start noticing is people are going to start showing up as almost reflections of you in a certain sense. So that's kind of what's coming through with this moon in Libra that's happening today, right? So what's happening though is that it's shifting into Scorpio. And so what's going on when it comes to this is that with this Scorpio moon that we're entering is going to be a time frame where we need to tap into the last bits of what we need to like really get through. This is a good time to really work on those things that you don't feel resonate with you anymore. Like you need to really like work through, cut through all the BS that you might have inside, really like analyze and kind of surgically remove in a certain sense the things that you feel don't work with you anymore. Because if you get rid of those things that don't work with you anymore, the best way to put it is now you can work better with the other people that you meet. I do music, so in a musical sense, right, this is where like someone wants to work on, let's say like someone's vocal, they have to get rid of all the frequencies that don't resonate with the ear before they can start adding on new things, before they can start putting in new situations, new effects, things that end up making the ear brighter, right? So that's going to be something that ends up happening as far as that's concerned. So shifting into Sunday, right, we're going to have the moon in Scorpio, like I was mentioning a second ago, but we're also going to have Mercury in Libra making it square over to Pluto in Capricorn. So what's happening with this Mercury in Libra square, we are kind of, this is once more, this is the end of Virgo season. So this is like the last bits to like get it right. And what I mean by get it right is like just really, this is the time to like cut into anything that you feel like doesn't resonate with you anymore before you move on. So the whole idea behind this, right, with this Pluto and Capricorn placement is that we're going to be breaking through and transforming how we end up relating, not only in just a personal sense, but in a business sense as well. So the whole idea behind this business sense is transforming is like, how are we not just showing up as a person to other people? How are we going to try to start showing up professionally? How are we going to start showing up holding our passions in the forefront? How are we going to start showing up as the business people that we are in a sense, right? And that's whatever business that you're into. It could be arts, it could be something that you do on a day-to-day, but that's really tapping into that placement as this moon in Scorpio is going on. And what the moon in Scorpio is doing while this is going on is basically helping bridge in once more the things that you need to surgically remove. So that's what's going to come through Sunday. So with this moon in Scorpio phase, I definitely suggest people to like take time out for themselves to kind of like just sit, work through whatever things aren't working for them, because heading into this is going to be the next season and going into the next phase of things, right? Now, Monday, right? Monday, we still going to have the moon in Scorpio, and that's going to go into the moon in Sag. So this week, as far as the early stages of it, aren't transit heavy. So we don't have like a bunch of different like planets making changes, planets making this. This is literally the last time of Virgo season to make sure that we get everything like cut and clear. You get where I'm coming from? So this is like the time frame to get things cut and clear. So as you get this cut and clear, the last of the moon in Scorpio phase, right, we're going into the moon in Sagittarius. So then there's going to be like a little bit more joy. that starts coming in, right? You're going to start feeling a little bit more ready for the next adventure. You feel a new adventure coming in, new philosophies coming in, new thoughts coming in. And that's what's going to start happening with that moon in Sagittarius that is bridging into, right? So now, here's the part people have been waiting for since the live stream. Libra season, the season of charm and balance. So, entering into Libra season on Tuesday, right? Usually Libra season starts on the 23rd, but we're in a leap year, so it's on the 22nd. Just a quick little side important note. But the whole idea, right, is that with the sun entering Libra, we're going to have a few things happen on the day that it enters Libra. And that's why I want to point out this origin of how the season's even starting. So how the season is starting, right? We're going to have Mercury in Libra trining, if I'm not mistaken, yes, trining the North Node, right? So Mercury in Libra, communications, this is our thoughts. The North Node is destiny, right? So this Libra season is bridging in a lot of destinies for people that people haven't necessarily realized that this was what we were working on this whole past season. People haven't realized that this is what we've been working on for the last 6 months. But what ends up happening is that for this Tuesday, we're bridging in our communications in our mind with destiny as a whole, because the North Node represents destiny in astrology, period. So the whole thing behind this too, we're going to have Mars conjunct Lilith as well. So the whole idea is we're going to be pushing forward on our very unique and authentic, raw, primal, real deep down self, right? And with this, by tapping into that raw sense of self, having these communications, bridging in destiny together, it's like, now this is the time to stand up as a person that you've been building up since this quarantine lockdown season started. Everyone in this whole entire situation has been bridging in and building themselves up in their own personal way, because that's what it has been pretty much going on. That's what has been aligning during that time. So now it's all the alignment that you've made. It's time to step up into that, fully into that. Not just that little bit that you think that person's going to be cool with. Not just that little bit that oh, they think of me that way. So this, no, all of it. You know what I'm saying? So having all of it, step up forward to the plate. This is me. Hey, what's up? That's going to be bridging in people that end up aligning with that truth that you have. And you're going to start meeting other people that have the similar truths as you, and you're going to be relating to them, partnering with them, and getting into deeper levels of both of your destinies, everyone's destiny, everyone that you end up tapping into, that's the destiny portion. It's going to be kicking through. And that's what's happening when the sun moves into Libra on this upcoming Tuesday, right? Once more, for anyone that just might be coming in, I have classes every Monday as well, at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST, where I go through and I break down whatever astrology topic at hand. This week, we're going to be going through progress charts in astrology. And what progress charts basically are is it takes your chart, right, your birth chart where you were born, and it moves. So where you were born, right, and now your birth chart moves very, very slightly every day. So your sun moves a little bit, your moon moves a little bit, your Mercury moves a little bit. And with that being said, you start to be able to see what events and what situations are going on in your current life. What energies are you currently dealing with? What energies are you currently putting in? And what's happening to you, and what are you also reflecting? So that Monday, Monday coming up, I'm going to be going through that in the astrology and how you can read and look at your own progress chart to start to see where these things are happening, what themes are going on, right? I'm also run progress chart readings on my services as well, Maverick.com, but check all their services out in general, see whatever resonates with you, see if you want to get a reading. I'm free, I'm available. But moving on, right, before I get into that, right? So now we're going to go over to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we have Mercury in Libra squaring Saturn in Capricorn. So this is almost remember how I was mentioning beforehand, you have to get the gunk out before you start making the next stages, making the next steps, right? This is like the last stand. This is like the last stand. It's like the last stand, last stage of like, are you sure everything that's around you actually resonates with you? It's like the last, like, are you sure? Because we're going to be bringing this forward with you for the next 6 months. Are you sure? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what the universe is doing. It's the, are you sure you're sure? Are you sure you're sure? And if you are sure, full speed ahead. If you aren't, this is the time frame to like cut those last things out. Nix those things that like aren't there. You know what I'm saying? So moving on, right? Because of this too, the moon is going from Sagittarius into Capricorn. So then things are going to be getting a little more serious. It's going to be a realization stage time. Thank you so much. That's literally the best way to put it. Realization stage time this upcoming Wednesday, right? Moving onward. So now going into next Thursday, right? We're going into a couple things that are happening, right? Mind you, there's a lot of Mercury and Libra placement. So where we're entering into, like I said, this new Libra space, our minds are going to be very stimulated during this time frame because these Mercury and Libra is making different aspects to it, right? Gotta think and be more intentional. Yes, you have to like be more intentional as far as what you're going for, what you're going towards, and that's why it's so important within these last few days of Virgo to write down your affirmations, how you feel, your intentions. You basically have until Tuesday. Now continue to write these affirmations, continue to keep that energy going, but starting now, I'm just trying to like let you know that's like the best thing that you can do because of the rest of the astrology coming up for the rest of this year. So that's my biggest suggestion, if anything, right? So moving on, Thursday once more. Mercury in Libra is going to make it in opposition to Mars in Aries and Lilith in Aries, right? So although this is a season or Mercury in Libra season is all about communications, partnerships, everything along the lines of that, right? So what's happening on this day is that you're going to be tapping deeper into self, right? So now you're going to be realizing, where are you over compromising? Where are you trying to like do too much and it's not like giving anything back to you? This is a day of reassessment as far as that is concerned because of this Mars and Aries retrograde going on. So this is a time of reassessment, retapping and rekindling that inner spirit. So like I said, you end up working with others better. And with Mars and Lilith here, it's going to be like a very raw sense of self that you need to tap into once more. Remember how I said beforehand, the day before, the universe was hitting you with the, are you sure you're sure? This next day is like, I am sure. Period. You get what I'm saying? That's the type of energy that you need to like hold as far as that's concerned in order for you to tap in and connect and partner with more people that resonate with you. Boom. So that's going to be coming up on this Thursday. Do you have any tips for helping with feeling overwhelmed? Write down what you want your reality to become. Write down what it is that isn't working with you, what it is that is working with you. Literally write a pros and cons list if you want. But basically, you putting pen to paper gives you a new perspective because then you get to just see things out. And that's not even just an astrological thing. That's just a thing in general. Like being able to see like out, okay, what's benefiting you? What's not benefiting you? And guess what? Writing those things out and entering the Libra season, you're literally using the scale. What's working? What's not working? How can we balance it out? Can we balance this out? Or do we have to go this way? That's the whole idea behind that general process. So it's interesting that you asked that, and that's literally the themes that are coming up. But that's pretty much my best advice as far as that if you're feeling overwhelmed right now. This is a lot of energy. This is a lot of heavy energy that is going on. So that's the reason why I'm so adamant about breaking down the astrology of every week so you can start seeing that. Will this live be saved? This live will be saved. It will be on the House of Intuitions page, and will also be on my personal page, Chad the Maverick, also on my YouTube, Chad the Maverick. If you haven't noticed, it's Chad the Maverick across the board. So that's exactly how you end up finding that. One more question. Any advice for communicating with someone who is not good at communicating? You have to tap in deeper with yourself because that person might not even resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? That person might not even fully like resonate at the same level, the same frequency. So you have to tap deeper into self, and this week is going to help do so. So it's like that's basically what's going to be coming through with this week's energy. So before I forget, not forget, but let me just finish out the week as far as the energy is concerned, and we can wrap it up, circle everything around, and tell you where to find everything, right? So on this upcoming Friday, we're going to have the moon going into Capricorn. So this is going to once more crystallize everything that you've been working on from last season to this season to the beginning stages of Libra. This is a very, very critical season because there's no stops. This is very like back to back to back. So if you feel free to come back to every live stream that I do on these Saturdays. So I'm really going to be breaking down how you can best navigate this energy based off that. If you don't know how to navigate the energy, come get a reading with me. I do birth chart readings. I do a handful of different readings as well for even people that are more advanced to just help them break down their specific energy. So when these transits happen, you know where it happens in your house. You know where it happens to you. So now you're like, oh, I need to make this adjustment here because this is what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, feel free to check that out. Last thing, next Saturday, when I come on next, we're going to be entering the moon in Aquarius stage, right? So now we're taking everything that we built and we're going to now be social with it. We're going to now be expanding that out to a larger collective and finding even more people that resonate with us and tapping all of that in. So that's basically the astrology of the week upcoming. Once more, just to kind of circle it back, this Virgo season is ending. Please write down the last year affirmations. Please just like write down the blueprint of what you want to create in your reality, because that's going to be so critical to look at. And coming into this Libra season, we're bridging in new communication. We're bridging in new relationships with people. We're bringing back some relationships with people in order to like communicate better. All along the sense of that, all along the lines of that. That's basically what's going to be coming in as far as that's concerned. So once more, if you guys want to learn more about astrology, I run a class every Monday, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST on a different astrology topic. This upcoming class is going to be how to look at your chart with a progress chart so you can see what themes, energies, and events are happening in your current and present life right now. Also, I come live every Saturday, the same time, every Saturday, same time. Keep them up. We keep the live streams up as well on their page, my page, Chad the Maverick, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, chadthemaverick.com. So that's going to be basically the overline of that, right? So for any general advice, though, so the general advice that I would give coming into this Libra season, this everything aside, I already got through my notes. This is just straight up, right? So the whole thing behind this is, who are you? Who do you want to attract into your life? How are you going to be yourself more in order for those people to bridge in order for those communications to bridge in? This is the type of energy where it's like you bridge into yourself and you start meeting a friend from a friend that ends up becoming close to you, or you end up meeting someone who's like, hey, I know this other person. I may not be into the stuff that you're into, but I know somebody who's really into the same stuff that you're into. And like kind of using that to bridge that together is exactly what this Libra season is going to be about. Mind you, still have notes for the next week and the upcoming week. Because next week afterwards, we're going to be having the full moon. So feel free to check in then, because I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with that full moon in Aries that's going to be coming up and all of that, right? So without, that's basically the time of today so far, right? Once more, this is going to be on the House of Intuition page, right? If you're in LA, go into a House of Intuition. What are you doing? Go into a house. Any advice on how to vibrate higher? Go into a House of Intuition. Go to houseofintuitionla.com. Go in, grab some crystals that resonate with you and what you need to do. Grab some, Palo Santo, different smudging sticks that we have as well there. Literally just get whatever resonates with you, because whatever resonates with you is going to be teaching you the next lesson that you need in order to accomplish this season. Go in there with the intention of, how can I best bring in the season? Go in, grab some stuff, go on the website, order some things that you feel resonate, and let that rock. So that is my time for today. Thank you all so much for showing up, and until next time, have a great one.